Uh, so other ways in which we get to show affection is by patting someone's back. I do that a lot. I just sometimes I kind of laugh at myself. I get to pat people's back, I rub people's back. Rub people's back. Wrapping your hands around another's shoulder or waist also is another way of showing it. Just putting your hand around someone else. Just showing you love the person, you care about the person. When it comes to the opposite sex, obviously you have to watch the environment, and do it with decorum. There are those that you won't do to somebody you're not close to. You have to do with decorum, but those are just ways of showing affection. We do it by sending cards, sending gift to somebody, just showing you care. Also reassuring someone when they are down. Just words of encouragement. Those are ways of showing affection to people. You know, um, some people, let me not go there. All right. Another way to show affection is also by discussing positives in the relationship. When to show affection to someone, to strengthen the relationship, it's by focusing on the good, not the bad. If you're focusing on the bad, then you're going to destroy the relationship. That's not bad in every relationship. We're not perfect. We're not perfect, but if you want to show affection, you want to build the relationship, you focus on the good things. I've been married for be 26 years, I guess, 26, right? It'll be 26 years next month. I'll be married, right? Our marriage is not perfect. I'm not perfect. My wife is not perfect. Even this afternoon, I was almost feeling offended by something. You know, she's not perfect. I had to choose my battles, choose where to focus on. I mean, we all have good, strong points. We have negative ones also. So you have to ask yourself if you want to build or you want to destroy. Then that will determine what you focus on, right? So I focus on the good because I want to build. If I focus on the negative, that's not affection, right? I focus on the positive because there's a lot of positive. And even though there might be negatives, there's a lot of positives. This person is a good person, as much as this person has some faults, just like everyone does. But this person has a good motive. This person's a good person, and you have to then choose to grow in love, to build your relationship, to build your marriage. You focus on the positives, right? Yeah. It's just like I used to have a fund manager that for every initiative I want to do, he always finds 1,000 reasons why it won't work. And I just try to explain to him that it's been negative. And he feels, shouldn't we talk about the things that might go wrong? Yes. There will always be things that can go wrong. I know that. Why not focus on the things that can go right? Yes, we're going to look at the things that can go wrong and we'll put mitigations in place. But let's focus on the way to go right because we want to do it. We're not saying it's easy. We're not doing it because it's easy. We're doing it because it makes money. It's profitable. It's the way our company is going to grow. So we're going to focus on doing it. While focusing on doing it, yes, as the issues come up, we'll address them. But we don't kill it before we even start. You don't build affection. You don't show affection by focusing on the negatives. Not the way you feel, but how the other person will feel. If you're controlled by talking about the negative, then you have a problem. You lack control. You lack self-regulation. You don't have a control of yourself. You're not sound in mind. If you're sound in mind, you'll know how to build, not to destroy. I remember one time we were having a meeting and it was supposed to be a team building event, and my project leader at that point in time had some negatives. Yet she was such a beautiful person, beautiful lady, beautiful Colombian lady that I love dearly. And I believe she did love me also dearly. I mean, like you might say, we're not in romantic relationship, but it was a platonic, team relationship. But we had an opportunity to talk about different things, and I talked about the things that were wrong, and I regret doing that. I talked about our faults. I don't think she forgave me that. Or whatever it was, he probably didn't heed the right way. You don't show affection by focusing on the negative. Yes, there are things to be addressed, maybe find some private way to do it at the right time to do it. But let it be known that you're doing it out of love. Catch the person at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, but in a place where you have shown enough affections to be able to keep that in. When you're showing affection, it's by focusing on the positive things. Offer to be there if someone is depressed. Just being with somebody is a way of showing affection. Most times when people have losses, they're not looking for your words. They're just looking for your presence. Someone has lost somebody dear to them. It's not the words you say that's going to make that person calm down or feel comforted. Your presence is much more than the words you say. So if you don't have good words to say, shut up and just be there. Just be there. Just let the person know you are there to help. You're there to do some things for the person that you might not be able to do at that point in time. But just be there, just to comfort, just to hold, just to hug, just to hold, just to pat the back, just to be present. Just your presence is a show of affection. Your attention, your person is the greatest gift you can ever give to somebody else. It's not your money. Yes, your gift can show it, but there's something more than your gift. If you can give it, your time, your attention, your presence is on a higher scale than your gift, your money. Another way it's also by cracking jokes, right? Or by cracking jokes, being humorous, making the other person laugh. Right? It's another way by which you show affection. And I love to do that. I love to do that. All right. So those are different ways of showing affection, to someone else. Then one of all some of these fall into what we call Charles Capps. I mean, what's his name now? Capps is the last part of it. Comes up with what we call the five love languages. And the five love languages just talking about the way we all, as much as we've talked about the general way by which you show affection, there are also specific ways that move some people. There are ways that don't move some people. There are things that move others. And this been pretty much been put into what is called the five love languages. It's kind of popular. Uh, the guy that popularized this is, I think it's Charles. No, it's not Charles Capps for sure. Something Capps anyway. But one of it, the first one he has is the words of affirmation. Words are important to someone like me, but it's not important to everybody. For some people, words of affirmation will show love, will show that you love them, but not everybody. Someone has probably had all the affirmation they need in their life from the authority figures in their life when they were growing up. Probably couldn't be bothered if you give words of affirmation. Maybe that's not where they feel they feel affected by someone else. But for someone like me, that means a lot to me. I'll tell you, when you use the right words, it makes me even feel romantic. It makes me feel sexual. just to be blank with it. But so words of affirmation is a love language for me. It affects me when you use the right words. When you see those special words, I feel it. It affects me romantically. It affects me uh platonically. It affects me sexually. But words of affirmation is it for me, but not necessarily for everyone. Some people speak all the words you want because of their life history. People have said such words to them, and those words have fallen to the ground. So now those words don't mean much to them, right? So that might not be their love language, right? For me, someone like me, it is. It means a lot. Words mean a lot to me. Maybe also because I'm a teacher, right? People call me wordsmith, right? Words are important to me because I'm a communicator, so I have to get the right words to be able to pass the message I want to pass across. So words mean a lot to me, and that is a love language for me. You can arouse me by using the right words. I just have to get my own head in the right place. I don't know. For some people, it's quality time, spending quality time with them. You know, Quality time probably is not so a love language for me. I'm just I'm an introvert. I love seclusion. I love time alone. So if you spend too much time with me, it's not a love language for me. I'm gonna want to get rid of you. It's not as much a love language for me spending quality time because I spend a lot of time just I love myself. I spend a lot of time with myself. I spend a lot of time to study. I spend a lot of time to read. Uh, so someone coming into that space for me probably is not a love language for me. For some other people, it is, especially people that are extroverts. They want people that are going to talk with them, joke with them, all of that stuff. Yes, it might be a love language for some people. And if you can spend that time with them, you might get them, it might affect them. You might get them romantic. You might get them, feel platonic or sexual. For women, possibly. I remember one time, there was a friend of mine. I wasn't married then, but I had someone I was chasing after. But I had a friend who was sick, and I used to visit. But that was then resulting to her feeling emotionally attached. So the quality time for her was affection. It made a difference for her. But I was just doing it just to be a brother, but for her, that was affection, So sometimes you need to know that what does not necessarily tick or move the needle for you might move the needle for someone else. What might not mean anything to you might mean a lot to someone else. So you need to be sensitive as to the message you're passing across, right? For me, then it was like I was passing a message of being interested. So I had to cut myself away. I had to stay away, right? Just to put things in perspective, but spending quality time, it could be a way of showing affection to somebody, you know. Yeah, irrespective of me being an introvert and loving seclusion, I need to spend time with my wife. You know, I'm not going to build my relationship with my wife. I'm not going to build my marriage if I don't spend time with her. So I have to find some time, some way to spend time with her, even as against it not being necessarily my love language, but it is our love language, right? So I need to go against whatever nature says. That's why we say marriage is not necessarily automatic. A marriage is you gotta work it, right? Maybe it doesn't take the needle for me, but it does for her. So I gotta pay the sacrifice to do it just to build our relationship, right? The third one is physical touch. Almost like every other one. Physical touch is a love language for me. I don't know but maybe not for everybody, but for me, it is. It is. That's probably another love language for me. It means a lot to me, and it makes me romantic, platonic, sexual, so um it is a way of showing affection to me, and I do that to others also. I gotta touch people just to show I care. I remember I was chasing after somebody, And I used to almost like punch, For me, it wasn't a punch. It was just a way of lightly touching the shoulder. She used to say that it's hurting her. But for me, I know I wasn't putting energy into it. But for me, it was a way of showing affection, just to show that I'm fond of her. But she's put a lot of negativity to that you know, I felt a sense of rejection doing that. But for me, I do that to a lot of people. I hit people with my hand, just friends, you know, uh, but it means a lot. That's a love language for me. It means a lot for someone to touch me also, right? So that's a way of showing affection for me. That's a way I show affection to other people also, So you need to know, it means a lot when my wife touches my chest. Those mean a lot to me. I wish she knows that and she can do more of it. But yeah, we're all different. So that is for me, right? Acts of service. My wife loves acts of service. That's the way she shows affection. That doesn't move a needle for me. Acts of service. I'm a hard worker. Yeah, it's not for me. I don't show love. I don't show affection by acts of service. Now, does someone doing acts of service for me move the needle for me? Right. It's not for me. It is for my wife. It is for some people, but not for someone like me. So you need to know yourself, you need to know others. Yeah, my wife will love it for me to do things for her too. So I have to do it, but I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just doing it because it moves her. It doesn't move my needle. Receiving gifts. This kind of a shaky one for me. Neither here nor there. Receiving gifts, yes, I love money. Who doesn't? Receiving gifts could mean a lot to me. I know when I was chasing someone, it meant a lot that the person didn't observe my birthday. That meant a lot to me. I felt the non-shown of affection, which probably one of the reasons I ended up breaking up with that person. So yes, in that sense, I would say receiving gifts, it moves the needle for me. So for some people it doesn't, you know, but it does for me, but not not as high as physical touch, nor as high as words of affirmation. It will probably be number three for me. So I guess number one for me will be words of affirmation. Number two for me will be physical touch. Number three will be receiving gifts, in that order. Quality time, acts of service, you can throw those ones away. But we're all different. I don't know what it is for you, but or what's important is you need to know what works for you. Um, what could what could turn your head when you have to know it's all as much as it's a strength, it could also be a weakness. Someone that knows it can use it against you. Someone can get you by using this as a bait. So you need to know where your strength is, what is your weakness. As much as this three affect me, fill my affection tank, it could be both a strength and a weakness. So I need to know that. So you need to know what it is for you. What's your love language? Right? Some people just throw it away, love language. It is important. It's not to be used as an excuse. It's just something to know who you are, know your strength, know your weaknesses, and help to moderate yourself, help to moderate your energy, and control yourself in different circumstances. So I hope that helps you. Let me move on here. All right. If a couple can cultivate the bedrock of affection and empathy, meaning curiosity and the willingness to listen, their bond will be more stable and enduring, right? If anybody cultivates affection, knows in what way they can affect their spouse, and understand also where they are, where they want to go to, you know, and then be able to relate her right, that can help build your marriage, the bedrock of your marriage, the foundation of your marriage. You can work on these two emotions and it will help uh build the core of your marriage. They're important and they can make a big difference in marriages. I'm going to close here with, all right, I think I moved things. All right, that goes to next week. I left a slide there, which is for next week. We're gonna close with this two quotes here today. Today is not one of those days that we eat against the 1 hour mark. So let's use this two close quotes here and we'll be done today. Uh, the only reward of virtue is virtue. Right? If you have virtue and you work on the things you should work on, you will get the same in return, right? What you sow, you will reap. The only way to have a friend is to be one. When you work on these two emotions, empathy, affection, then you will have friends. You'll have a spouse. You'll have a marriage. You'll have children because you can use the same also for your children, right? Love is something you and I must have. We must have it because our spirit feeds upon it. Love feeds us metaphysically. The word metaphysical is a word beyond physical. I did put that on Facebook yesterday and someone didn't understand, was asking questions, or was it this morning? Love feeds, love fills us up. It feeds us, it feeds our hunger and it quenches our thirst. Love fills us metaphysically. It fills our spirit up, right? We must have it because without it, we become weak and faint. When you don't have love, you become depressed. You begin to uh, look down on yourself. You feel you're not worthy. Don't forget again, our essence is found outside of ourselves. And our essence is found with the people we relate with, we love and they love us too, right? So without love, our self-esteem weakens. Without it, our courage fails. Without love, we can no longer look out confidently at the world, you know. And this is by one of the indigenous Indians in Canada, right? I'll take that again. Love is something you and I must have. We must have. We are children of love. We're created in love to love and be loved. We must have it because our spirit feeds upon love, right? Our spirit feeds upon love. And one of the way we get fed is by people having empathy on us, people having affection towards us, and we doing the same for other people, right? We must have it because without it, we become weak and faint. When we don't have love in our life, we don't have someone to care about us, someone who is affected by us, and someone who affects us, someone who thinks about us, we become weak and faint. Without love, our self-esteem weakens. We see ourselves less. Without it, our courage fails. Without love, we can no longer look out confidently at the world. We need people in our life to be able to fight the enemy at the gate, right? So